Hey guys, what is going on? It's Woody HD, and welcome to something a bit different today. I should have done this at the start of the season. It's only literally just popped into my head now to do this, well, I wouldn't call it a series, to do this weekly. It's going to be Woody HD Predicts each week of the Madden, each week of the NFL season, from now until the end of the season. I should have done it at the start. I should have really thought of doing it at the start, but we're going to carry on from here to the end of the season and do it next season. So we're going to kick us off with the New York Giants at home to the 13-0 Carolina Panthers. What a season the Panthers have had so far. 13-0, already secured a playoff spot. Got a bye in the first round of the playoffs. Cam Newton has been scrambling. He's been throwing immensely. He's got so many great players, especially on defense as well. They've got, of course, Norman, who's been playing incredibly well. Kuechly, who's absolutely insane. They've got so many great players. They seem to have the perfect package on offense and defense. They've made really small, very little mistakes all season, to be honest with you. That is why they're 13-0. Up against in New York, against the Giants, who had a very good game victory over the Miami Dolphins last time out. This is going to be tight, I think, because of the partnership now that's really starting to come together. It has been all season, but is now really coming together between Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham Jr., every week he seems to make an insane catch. He seems to make an insane move. He seems to just have a moment all the time on every game week. And I just think he's going to have another one here. Those two, if they play well, there's going to be a real chance for them to do some serious damage here. But I've got to go with the Panthers. I just can't see them losing at the moment. I just can't see a game with them losing at the moment. They're 13-0. Can they go the entire regular season undefeated? Can they go the entire off-season and win the Super Bowl? They are definitely Super Bowl contenders. The Giants, for me, aren't. But I'm going for the Panthers on this one. I think, it's like I said, it's going to be close, but I think I'm going with the Panthers. I'm going to go 26-13 to the Panthers on Game 1. Next up on the list is going to be the Atlanta Falcons at the Jacksonville Jaguars. What happened to the Atlanta Falcons, everybody? What happened? I swear, the start of the season, they were like 4-0, 5-0. They were on the way to becoming an undefeated team. They were playing absolutely brilliantly. Of course, Freeman, who's been scoring for fun for their offense. But then, I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened to them. They had so many weeks of poor performances. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I really thought when I saw the start of the season they were going to be contenders for undefeated. But they go here, of course, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, of course, played at Wembley this season. That dramatic late victory over the Buffalo Bills. This is tight. I mean, both haven't had brilliant seasons. I admit that, they haven't had brilliant seasons. It's not the best game of the weekend, of course. But of course, the Falcons, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what to make of them. The Jaguars have been playing decent. I mean, they got a good. Of course, they got the extremely dangerous Allen Robinson, who's really connecting now with Blake Bortles. Of course, 12 touchdowns for the season. Alan Hearns, of course, 8 touchdowns as well. But again, Blake Bortles can rush it. He can find people under pressure. On the other side, obviously, Devontae Freeman, 9 touchdowns. He really started the season, like I said, really well. Matt Ryan, of course, as quarterback, 17 touchdowns this season. But you look at Blake Bortles, 30 touchdowns, 12 of them come to Allen Robinson. Alan Hearns, of course, with 8. I'm going to go here with the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. The Falcons are not on a good spell. I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. I'm going to go for a 25-17 win for the Jags. Our next game is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens got pretty much destroyed last time out against the Seahawks, where they lost, what was it, 35-6 or whatever it was. They didn't get a touchdown. They've had some really, really, really bad injury problems so far this season. Of course, Joe Flacco out, 14 touchdowns. Justin Forsett out as well. But again, on the flip side, the Kansas City Chiefs, was it 6 wins in a row or something now? Absolutely insane. Alex Smith, of course, they destroyed the Detroit Lions at Wembley earlier this year. Jacandrick West has been insane. Jeremy Maclin, 5 touchdowns, again, been insane. Alex Smith, throwing for 15 touchdowns already this season. The Chiefs really have it sewn up at the moment. They're really on fire, and I can't see anything more here than a Chiefs win to carry on their record of winning every game. I'm going for a 30-13 win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Next up on the list is the Tennessee Titans at the New England Patriots, who already, of course, are in the playoffs. Tom Brady having an amazing season as well. They did have a little patch where they lost, was it 2 in a row? But again, the defending Super Bowl champions, of course, from last season are pretty much on fire again. Rob Gronkowski, again, an amazing season so far. Brady's been thrown at left, right and centre. Gronkowski, 10 touchdowns already this season. Brady, 33 touchdowns. Of course, this season already. Amazing stat. Julian Edelman, of course, 7 touchdowns as well. And they're really good on rushing as well. Dion Lewis rushing for a few yards as well. LeGarrette Blount, of course, is out. I think not sure if he's out for the season. That's going to do a bit of damage to them. But Tom Brady, when you got Tom Brady, a quarterback, anything is possible. And up against here, at home, to the Tennessee Titans, who've had a few decent games this season. Of course, rookie back Marcus Mariota, throwing for 19 touchdowns. He's been really good. Mariota has been really good, but they just can't seem to get it together. The receiving, 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Again, rushing isn't brilliant either with Andrews. Mariota is actually rushing as well. Last game or the game before, he rushed for he had an 84-yard running touchdown, which is insane. Mariota is going to be a great, great quarterback. Same with James Winston. But I got to go with the Patriots here. I think the Tennessee Titans, 3-10. The Patriots storming ahead. So I can't really see it. New England, of course, on 11-2 this season with a .846% win ratio. I got to go with the Patriots. And I'm going to go a 28-9 victory at home at Gillette Stadium for the Patriots. The next game then is the Buffalo Bills at the Washington Redskins at FedEx Field. Washington Redskins currently lead the NFC East, although they have a 6-7. It's probably the poorest division this season in the NFL, with not one single team on more wins than losses. But Washington do lead that at the moment. Buffalo 6 or 7 as well. It doesn't look like at the moment they're getting out of that, with the Jets and New England being in there as well. Of course, they have Miami below them. Kirk Cousins, 18 touchdowns this season, incredibly well. Deshaun Jackson, I really love receiving. He's had a few as well. But I do like Buffalo's offense. Tyrod Taylor, of course, missed a few games. They lost, of course, dramatically at the end in Wembley against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sammy Watkins, LaShawn McCoy, Carlos Williams, so many really good, quick plays they got. They just need to get it together and win consecutive games. Of course, 18 touchdowns for Tyrod Taylor. When he's been in the team, he's been really, really good. But here, this is a really difficult one. This is a difficult one. For this game, I am going to go with the Bills. The Bills away at Washington Redskins, but if Tyrod Taylor, McCoy, Williams, Sammy Watkins, if they can all play together and really connect, I can see them beating the NFC East leaders Washington here. I can see this being a 23-20 game. Pretty close, but I'm going for the Bills for an away win. Next up on the list are the Houston Texans and the brilliant J.J. Watt away at the Indianapolis Colts. They had 5 wins on the bounce or whatever in Houston Texans. They start the season off pretty poorly, but they come right back into it. This is a divisional game, the AFC South, both locked at the top of the AFC South, of course, with Jacksonville and Tennessee being in there as well. But these two have a chance to go even, the Texans and the Colts. J.J. Watt, again, incredible season again for him. Brian Hoyer's been throwing 18 touchdowns. The rushing's pretty good as well. DeAndre Hopkins, probably their star man, with 10 touchdowns this season. T.Y. Hilton on the opposite end, 5 touchdowns. They've had a few. Andrew Luck for 15 touchdowns here. The Texans were on a roll. It's in Indianapolis for this game, and I am going to go with a Texans win just. I'm going 19-18 Texans. This is, again, just like the last game, going to be incredibly close, but I got a feeling the Texans are going to get back to winning ways at Indianapolis. Our next game is another divisional match. This is the NFC North. This is the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, the Vikings losing to Seattle quite badly and then losing to the Arizona Cardinals. Minnesota 8-5 at the moment, but they have, of course, the one and only Adrian Peterson. Bridgewater's been playing decent this season. He's not much of a passer. They rely heavily on Adrian Peterson. 9 touchdowns. They really do rely on him a lot. Maybe possibly too much at times, but if it works, it works. And at home as well, they are quite good, although they did lose, of course, the Seahawks a few weeks ago. Jay Cutler, 16 touchdowns. Matt Fort, decent on rushing as well. A few guys been chipping in. But here at home, the Bears, 5-8. I can't see it here. I'm going for the Minnesota Vikings to get back to winning ways. And I'm going for a 25-16 win for the Minnesota Vikings, with Adrian Peterson definitely getting a touchdown. Our next game is a really tough one to predict. Oakland Raiders at home to the Green Bay Packers. Of course, the Packers had that really bad spell where they went like 3 games without a win. And then they went and did a walk-off Hail Mary touchdown, Rodgers to Rodgers, which was absolutely insane. Of course, Derek Carr, really incredible quarterback. I think this guy's going to go far. They've got some really dangerous players in their team. Levantis Murray, of course, Amari Cooper, the rookie, who's been incredible again. Michael Crabtree, of course. They've got some really outstanding players in their team. On the flip side, I think they've lost, Packers, if I remember rightly, have lost Lacey for a while. Not too sure. Aaron Rodgers, 28 touchdowns. You can always rely on touchdowns. They've got so many good players. Richard Rodgers, of course, Starks, Randall Cobb. They've got so many. Rodgers has got so many people to target. It's insane. Like, they've got so many good players across the board. They're one of these teams that is strong pretty much in every position. A very difficult one. It's in Oakland. This is a tough one. The Packers, of course, at the moment, 9-4, lead in the NFC North. Oakland, 6 or 7. I'm surprised at that, seeing as they have had a pretty decent season, but they are in a pretty difficult table with the Denver Broncos and the Chiefs, who, of course, are on fire. So for this one, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers win, despite being on the road at Oakland. I am going for a 29-20 win for the Green Bay Packers. Rodgers on fire again, getting a few touchdowns. I'd like to see Amari Cooper get a few, but I'm going with the Packers away at the Raiders. Our next game is the team I support, my team, the Seattle Seahawks, at home up against the Cleveland Browns. The Seahawks started the season 0-2. They've been winning, losing. When at the start, when they seem to come up against the bigger teams, they seem to really struggle. Wilson wasn't playing very well. But then it all started to turn around. The Wilson-Baldwin partnership is absolutely insane. Baldwin, I think he's got like 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games or something absolutely insane. 11 touchdowns for the season. Wilson now, I think the last few games they've had at least 30 points plus per game. They beat the Steelers, of course. They beat the Vikings. They beat the Baltimore Ravens, the 49ers. They are on, I think, a 4-5 game winning streak now, and that has all of a sudden changed their fortunes around. They're now 8-5, one of the best teams in the NFL at the moment. They're coming up a difficult game against the Browns, who are 3-10 on this one. Wilson, 26 touchdowns this season. Josh McCown, 12, but they're not going to bring him in for this one. I don't think they're going to swap it up again. But they have lost, of course, their 2 best running backs in Rawls and Lynch. Not sure where Lynch is going to be back, hopefully soon. Lost Jimmy Graham, of course, as well. Tyler Lockett has been insane. But if the Wilson and Baldwin partnership continues, and Wilson keeps doing what he does at home here, I can only see a Seahawks win, to be honest with you. I am going for a 29-13 win for the Seahawks, which will make it, 5 and 6 wins in a row and take them to 9-5 for the season and get closer to that wildcard spot, possibly in the playoffs. So I'm going for a Seahawks win at home at CenturyLink Field. Now, what a game this promises to be. What a game this is going to be. The Pittsburgh Steelers beating last time out the leaders in the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals, pretty well. Ben Roethlisberger has been on form. Antonio Brown has been insane this season as well, 7 touchdowns. They have some really dangerous players in their ranks. They've got a great defense. They're on fire at the moment. At home to the Denver Broncos, of course, who are 10-3. Peyton Manning, of course, been out for a while now. Osweiler's come in and done an amazing job. They've got so many great people they can throw to on offense. Of course, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. They've got some great players in their lineup. But at home, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to go just the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I'm going to go 20-18 to the Steelers. This is going to be probably, in my opinion, I would say probably the game of the weekend. Two amazing teams. One 8 for 5, one 10 for 3. I'm going to go with the Steelers at home. Ben Roethlisberger to do his thing again. Next up is two teams who have really, really disappointed, to be honest with you, this season. That is the Miami Dolphins and the San Diego Chargers in San Diego. San Diego, I think, already out of the running for the playoffs. They can't make it. I'm sure it's the same for the Miami Dolphins. We're 5-8. San Diego 3 for 10. Philip Rivers, when he's on form, he's great. 23 touchdowns. But the offense is not doing its thing, unfortunately, this season. They've had a few pretty poor games. Miami Dolphins, when they play well, they can be very good. Lamar Miller, of course, extremely dangerous. Jarvis Landry, of course. Tannehill is good on his day, but again, these two really struggling this season. Here, though, I'm going to go for a Dolphins win. I think they have it over the Chargers at the moment. They're a better team. So I'm going to go here for a Miami Dolphins win. I'm going to go a low-scoring 12-9 game victory for the Dolphins on the road at San Diego. Next up is the team at the start of the season, one of the undefeated teams for a long time, who have been amazing this season so far, the Cincinnati Bengals, but they did lose last time out at home to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was a massive game in the race to win the AFC North. They've lost, of course, their quarterback, Andy Dalton, don't know for how long for. When they play well, this team seem unbeatable this season when they play well. Giovanni Bernard, Jeremy Hill, AJ Green, 8 touchdowns, Tyler Eifert, 12 touchdowns, of course. I think he's still leading the touchdown charts. But without Dalton in the team, yes, there's still a force. I don't know how much the last defeat is going to hurt them here, but I can see them beating the 49ers. The 49ers haven't had a great season, of course. They are 4 for 9. Colin Kaepernick lost his starting spot, of course. They've got some decent players, but the squad you're looking at here for the Bengals should win in San Francisco, and I'm going for a 28-10 win for the Cincinnati Bengals. Despite Dalton being injured, they've got some great players. They're going to miss his 25 touchdowns this season, but they've got AJ Green, Bernard, Jeremy Hill. You know, they've got some amazing players, so I'm going to go here for Cincinnati Bengals win on the road. Next up are the Philadelphia Eagles at home to the sizzling hot Arizona Cardinals. They, of course, have already secured a playoff spot for this season. 11 for 2. An amazing season they've had. Carson Palmer, 31 touchdowns. Insane. Absolutely brilliant. Larry Fitzgerald, of course, every season he seems to be amazing. 7 touchdowns again. They're rushing really well, and Carson Palmer is such a reliable quarterback to have in their team. They're going up against the team that have been up and down. They got some really decent players in their team. Sam Bradford, of course, thrown for 14 touchdowns. DeMarco Murray, an amazing running back, but hasn't had a great season. Of course, they've had a few decent results this year, but despite being away, it's got to be the Cardinals for me. Philadelphia was 6 for 7. Still have a chance, of course, of winning the NFC, so this is a big game for them. But I'm going for a 30-13 victory for the Arizona Cardinals. I can see them walking away here handsomely with a win. When Carson Palmer's on form this season, he's pretty much been on form all year. Just 11 for 2, just 2 defeats all season. So I'm going for an Arizona Cardinals win in Philadelphia. Our one before last game then is the Monday night game. The New Orleans Saints at home to the Detroit Lions. Detroit started the season, what was it, 0 for 4, 0 for 5. And then they won 3 games in a row. They beat the Green Bay Packers away. And when they play well, they've got, of course, Megatron, Calvin Johnson. They've had some really great results, but maybe is it too little too late for them? They are 4 for 9. If they'd shown that 3-game winning form, they could have been a real threat in the playoffs, but it hasn't worked out. Of course, they lost heavily to the Kansas City Chiefs at Wembley in the International Game Series a few months ago. Stafford's been playing decent. Him and Calvin Johnson seem to connect really well. Golden Tate, of course, a few touchdowns as well. New Orleans Saints, I mean, yes, they've got some great players in their team. Drew Brees, an amazing season again. Mark Ingram has been rushing really well. But here, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go for the Saints at home. They seem to score a lot of points at home. So I'm going for them and Drew Brees to start it off here. I'm going for a 20-11 win for the Saints. And our final game is the Dallas Cowboys at home to the New York Jets. The Jets had a pretty decent season. Ryan Fitzpatrick been amazing, 25 touchdowns. Chris Ivory, amazing running back. Brandon Marshall, 11 touchdowns. Eric Decker, 9. When they're on form, this team are incredibly difficult to beat. The Dallas Cowboys, of course, 4 for 9. I'm not sure if they're out of the playoff picture yet. The Jets, though, have it all to play for, 8 for 5. Matt Castle, of course, in there at quarterback at the moment. Darren McFadden. They got some real, Des Bryant hasn't had an amazing season. You'd think he'd be a bit better. Terrence Williams, Jason Witten. But again, it hasn't really worked out for them this season. Despite being at home, I'm going for Jets win here to take their record to 9 for 5 and strengthen their grip on second in the AFC East and a playoff berth. So I'm going here for a 26-15 victory for the Jets. So that, guys, is the wrap-up of my predictions for Week 15. Let's hope I get them right. It's going to be another amazing week as teams battle it out to try and get closer to the playoffs. So, guys, thank you for watching. I've been Woody HD. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video.